to all of you. I am so excited to connect with you as always. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. And today is another beautiful Sunday right here on my YouTube channel for a brand new weekly reading with a full moon in Capricorn, which also happens to be a lunar eclipse on the 4th of July, which is going to be really fun. So we're going to tap into that as well. And I cannot wait to talk about all the energy that we have to explore today, because there's quite a lot to dive into. But first, I want to just welcome all of you to go ahead and comment in the chat. Let me know how you're doing, where you're tuning in from, how you're feeling today. You know, we always come here on Sunday, 1:11 p.m. Central Time, connecting to our Web of Light community that we've created here over the last 2 years. Longer than that now, it feels like, I think, or maybe it just feels like that. But really excited to connect with all of you. So let me know how you're doing. And we're gonna move pretty quickly today, but not too quickly. There's a lot to cover, so I don't wanna leave anything out. Where are we at? So we're covering June 28th to July 5th. Almost said July 7th. But June 28th to July 5th, which means that we're going into a brand new month, which is really exciting. We get to transition from the energy of June to the energy of July. We just had our summer solstice last week, so we were really able to step into our Christ consciousness, start to feel the energy of the sun, fueling our body, fueling our awareness, our enlightenment, and our magic, and allowing us to really step into more conscious awareness all around the board, not just for ourselves personally, but also for our communities and the mass collective, which is really great. So let me just start with a little review of last week before we get into the messages of this week. And last week we had a beautiful, beautiful event, the Shining Light on Revolution series. It was such a magical event. I can't even really put it into words. I feel like, I just got the download to put this event together only a couple weeks before I decided to do it. And I hit up all my sisters, all my beautiful POC luminaries and healers that were a part of it, and they were ready to go and excited to be a part of it. And we just put it together, and it flowed so beautifully. It was so powerful. So many different healing modalities, so many different ways to nurture our light and connect to our light from that series last week. And the best part about it is that, yes, it was a live event, but all of those videos are saved to this channel in their own playlists now. So you can absolutely go rewatch those videos anytime you want, forever, and send them to anybody that you feel like needs that. Because this energy, this revolution that we're in, that we're experiencing, this incredible change and transformation that we're seeing in the world is not a temporary or momentary thing. This is going to be happening and continually shifting into our new earth vibration for quite some time. So we really want to have these tools of healing modalities and connections to community and ways to shine our light and ways to amplify our light for whenever we need that extra healing and extra boost. So I really hope that all of you got a lot out of that event last week. I hope that you are also receiving my emails on the email list, because I am sending you all lots of check-ins. I'll be sending you more this week as well with some really fun offers. And then also, I'm just hoping that you were able to really feel nurtured and supported and held last week in that energy as we were transitioning through so much. We had the summer solstice, we had the new moon in Cancer, we had the solar eclipse, we had about 5 planets in retrograde, which are all still affecting us right now. So we're going to get into all of that as well. But that was just a review of last week. And for last week's weekly reading, I had the beautiful goddess Mona on with me for some collaborative intuitive readings. And she was able to really give us a lot of insight as well. She pulled the Truth and Justice card, really encouraging us to honor our truth and honor what's fair, and that a lot of truth and justice is coming to the surface at this time. And also she pulled the Fear, Ego, and Drama card, really encouraging us to release fears, release ego, and release drama, which was really in alignment too, because I pulled the friendship card, which is really encouraging us to find our friendships and hold on to those and really honor those and trust those and know that those are part of our truth and how we keep our justice strong. And also, even with the fear and ego and drama, I remember talking about the arrogant card, the card of arrogance that came from the Zeta Reptili in the Starseed meditation last week. And that was, I mean, so very, very obvious for us to release these overabundant, arrogant reactions and kind of initiations of confrontation that are happening within ourselves and in the communities that we're in. And then I also pulled the oppression card, really calling a lot of attention to the oppression that we are seeing of marginalized communities that we've been seeing for, centuries, and really shining light on that. That was so much a part of the event. That was the event, to shine light on the revolution of clearing this oppression and really empowering the people and the voices and the energy that has been suppressed for so long. And then I also pulled the You Are Not Alone card, reminding us all that no matter where we are in our experience with all of these changes, we are not alone, that we have community, that we have support, that we have love and light in our hearts, and that we have the support and love from unseen forces all around us, our spirit team, our higher self, our guides that are really allowing us to connect so deeply to that supportive feeling and nurturance. So lots of energy last week, right? Like so much to talk about. How are all of you doing? Let's check in on the Let's check in on the live. Okay. Leslie's here. Hey, Leslie. Carla's here as well. Nico, I don't know what you mean by that, but let me know. Jasmine's here. Hi, Jasmine. Nikki's here as well. Sending love from the Valley of the Sun. Yes. So good. Oh, Linda's here as well. Good to see you. Bianca's here as well. Good to see you, love. Susan's here too. Oh, we got the gang here. It's so exciting. All right, love. So let's go ahead and dive right into the energy, the spirit messages of this week. Stop. Gio's doing his thing. Gio's trying to be a part of the reading again. All right, so spirit messages of this week. The first thing that I really wanted to bring to everyone's attention again, since we're on the last week of June, is the June theme from the annual weekly reading, from the annual reading that I posted at the beginning of the year. I do an annual reading for every single year that we embark into, and I pull a card for every single month of that year. And so we did that the very first day of 2020. And for June, we pulled the love card. And this is the last week of the June energy. So we're letting ourselves really kind of just stay in that place of love vibration. We're really allowing ourselves as well to reflect on love in our life. And this goes right into the Venus retrograde that we experienced most of this month as well, which makes so much sense. And it's so cool that the intuitive messages and the cards really are aligning naturally with the astrology messages. And that's why I've really brought the astrology into these weekly readings after some time, because the astrology just made so much sense as another component to what was already coming through intuitively. So we're seeing that with the love vibration of June. And so what I wanted to remind everybody is that love saves all. That anytime you're feeling upset, hopeless, helpless, fearful, stressed out, abandoned, left out, forgotten, whatever it is, when you can get into a vibration of love, that will save that energy. That will alchemize whatever thing that you were feeling that was not love or less of a vibrational value than love. And that deeper love vibration is also a big part of what we activated in June, because when we were able to really feel into all of the experiences of this year, with the quarantine happening, the virus happening, that 2020 vision happening, lots of new disclosures, lots of new truths surfacing, everything with the racial tensions and race war revolution, all of that energy, we started to see more clearly, and we started to really harness in our understanding of love. We had to use love as a tool to clear fear, to clear doubt, to clear anger, to help us heal, and to help us stay nurtured even when we were isolated, right? So there's so many reasons why love became our focus in June. And the deeper the love we can feel, the more we can really use that love to alchemize us out of other vibrations. So love saves all. Stay in a vibration of love, and also reflect on the Venus retrograde. The Venus retrograde was really our opportunity to reflect, reassess, and redirect any energy in our love life or romantic awareness that was out of alignment, that just wasn't completely flowing, or that we knew wasn't actually serving us. In the beginning of the year, we had a lot of release, and towards the end of 2019, we had so much release. We had so much of this clearing of baggage and getting things out of the way that just wasn't serving us, letting go of relationships, letting go of circumstances, letting go of environments, communities, friendships, parts of ourselves, habits, thoughts, emotions that just were totally heavy, weighing us down and not serving us. And so as we progressed through 2020 and then moved into now this energy of June, we're really recognizing through the Venus retrograde how that has shaped our awareness of our self-love as well, our ability to create the appropriate boundaries, to release the things that we knew didn't serve us, to, find a new beginning, and to step into a new power of ourself, into a new reliability of our independence. And all of that was really so beautiful in the reflection of the Venus retrograde. And we just ended the Venus retrograde on the 25th. So we're about 3 days from the ending of that. And this is such a great time to reflect, how has your view of romance changed, even since the beginning of the year, especially though this month, how has your ability to open up to romance changed? How has your ability to open up to joy and pleasure and expansion of the heart in any form? How have you grown to understand the way that you love and the way that you receive love and the way that others around you love? And have you come into a harmony there? And so it's also fun to ask yourself, what did you learn? What did you let go of? And then what did you gain during the Venus retrograde? Because that will also tell you if you did the work that you needed to do for the Venus retrograde. If you feel like you didn't learn anything from the Venus retrograde, then either you already did that healing and you don't have anything to learn yet until the next thing happens, or you just haven't really let yourself reflect enough to learn something. And what did you let go of? Reflecting on that allows you to notice, okay, was what I let go of really the things that represent what I'm no longer wanting in my life? And did I do a good job at letting go of those things? Or am I still holding on? Am I still clinging? Am I still trying to bring that energy into the present or into the future? And then finally, what did you gain? What did you receive as a result of the Venus retrograde? What wisdom, what knowledge, what new sense of self or new heart expansion did you receive? What new relationships or connections did you receive? Because that can also tell you how this Venus retrograde was progressing for you. Did it bring you a blessing? Did it bring you a gift? Did it bring you something that you can say, okay, this shows me that I've gotten to the next level. I've progressed in this area of my life. So this is a really beautiful thing to reflect on. And then the next spirit message on this kind of tangent is integrating all the energies from last week that we experienced. And one of them includes that Venus retrograde now that it's over. And so we're integrating that energy through that reflection. We're also integrating and through new action, because we want to keep that movement going. If we notice that we've started to go back into old habits from the Venus retrograde ending, or that we're, starting to doubt ourselves, we want to maintain that, manage that, so that we don't go backwards. And then the other energies that we're integrating, the summer solstice, that Christ consciousness, that enlightenment, that ability to nurture your light, to learn new things, to expand your mind, to think multidimensionally, and to really with action, start to shine more light where you can. And then the solar eclipse last week, we're integrating that. We're also integrating all of the planets in retrograde that have been shifting, Saturn, Jupiter, just tons. And so we really want to nurture the way we're integrating it. And what I encourage all of you to do is take frequent moments to stop and slow down and breathe and check in with yourself. I mentioned checking in earlier this week because it's really important. And so I really encourage you to check in with yourself, because if you don't check in with yourself, you're going to not notice when those subtle shifts happen. And those times when those subtle shifts happen are the times where you can really change it back to where it was, or get yourself back on track from wherever that shift happened. But if you don't catch it in that time, then that energy will start to build momentum. And then you may be having a really, crappy mood, all because of one little trigger earlier in the day that you could have easily cleared then and not had this build into a mood, right? So integrating the energies is important, giving yourself permission to check in regularly so you can notice what vibration you're resonating at, what you're thinking about, what you're feeling, and if that's in alignment with what you really want to feel at the moment, and doing the work to get you back on track immediately. Remember, we talked about no more procrastination last week, so it's really important that we don't wait to do the work, that we notice when there's a shift and we immediately act on it. That's part of that that summer solstice and solar eclipse energy, really allowing us to attune to our action of enlightenment. And so that's how we're integrating this week. And that's what we're going to be tested on this week. That's what we're going to be called to do this week. And that's a lot of what we want to get good at for the rest of the year, because we're going to need to be really sharp at attuning our vibration to what we need to attune it to in any given circumstance, really allowing ourselves to ground and center despite any external chaos, because this year is going to continue to get crazy. Okay. I know that the quarantine stuff is kind of over, but still an issue with the masks, and the virus is still a thing, but it's kind of less intense, and it has its waves. The racial tensions definitely still intense, definitely have their waves. But listen, there's going to be more happening. I still feel like some things to come. I felt like it was going to happen in June. It might not happen this week, or it might be the first couple of weeks of July, or it's a timeline shift and we're moving into something else. But there's definitely more coming for this energy to integrate and align and settle in the true kind of blueprint that the universe has. It just keeps feeling like there's more to come. So we want to be able to be really attuned to our vibration. But the best part about all of that too is that everybody is waking up, which is what the next spirit message is. And if you have noticed, like I've noticed, all the people that you wouldn't really expect to say certain things are really coming out of the woodwork and saying some really deep truths. And they're really honoring this awareness and this enlightenment that they're receiving. And they're passionate, and they're bold, and they're courageous, and they're strong in their conviction of the truth. And so I'm seeing this in a lot of the civil council meetings and things. I'm seeing this in, people talking to their audiences in a completely different way than I've ever seen, and really, really stepping up. And even just random people that I just would not expect to be able to have a certain kind of conversation are just like totally ready to. So I think this is such a cool energy. Yes, Susan, thank you for mentioning that. That's actually one of my announcements today. We are going to reopen up the 6-month forecast readings for $65 for anybody who wants their 6-month card forecast. This is something that I did at the beginning of the year, where I pulled a card for your first 6 months of the year and gave you a quick reading of what that first 6 months was going to look like. I know a lot of you who got that reading definitely had a lot of those things come to fruition, and definitely felt that energy, and it helped you navigate, the first 6 months of this year. And now that we're at the end of June, it's definitely time for another 6-month forecast for the next 6 months of this year. So if you're ready to dive into your next 6 months, definitely reach out to me. I am taking some time off in the first 2 weeks of July, but I will be able to connect with all of you starting when I get back. So if you want to get in on that quickly, because I'm sure that people will probably start scheduling me right now for that. So definitely, if you're interested, please reach out to me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com or at readingsbyrissa on Instagram, so that you can sign up for your 6-month forecast for only $65. All right, so with that being said, let's move on to the next spirit message. Everybody's waking up. I talked about that. The light is revealing the truth. This is the light of the summer solstice, the light of the solar eclipse, and the light of our consciousness. We talked about the Kali Yuga and how we have been moving through that, and we're reaching the end of the Kali Yuga, and we're entering the golden age. The golden age is next, and the golden age is all about sunlight. It's about expansion. It's about Christ consciousness. It's about evolution of light and spirit and your soul power. And so we're really stepping into that awareness, and that light is shining on the truth. It is revealing the truth. It is allowing us to really step into what we know is true in our heart and the intuitive truth that we see. Gia, stop licking your foot. Please. Stop licking. Thank you. He just has to be the star of the show. It's like if I'm on the reading, he just wants attention. He wants to lick his foot so that I can hear him. Stop licking, please. So anyway, he's so distracting, you guys. I wish you could hear it. It's like the most distracting thing. If you guys have a pet that like does something constantly that just drives you crazy, you know what I'm talking about, right? Or even a kid, like I'm sure the parents out there is like, right? Gio, come here. Come here. Here, we'll get him up here because he's just being too much. Come here. Come here. Come here, bud. Come on. Oh, there he is. Okay, he can just chill now. Like now he can just sit here. Yes, it is the same with children, right? So now that he's here, he'll probably be so happy. Okay, hi. Like say hi to everybody. Okay, so this is so fun, right? Only on Rissa Vibes YouTube channel. Look, now he's looking at me. Do you get to have a reading with a beautiful pup as well? All right, so with that being said, we are also on a shamanic journey, which I think is really cool because we pulled some cards like we always do for the Starseed Saturday meditation. And yesterday, who was it that came through? Who was it that came through with that message? The shamanic journey. Oh, the cetacean whale, which is really cool because the aquatic galactics and the whale energy, the dolphin energy has been really present. That was also a card I pulled last week, the dolphin energy. And so this week, the whale energy came through with this telepathic cetacean energy again, but for shamanic journeying, for this essence of really activating your spiritual path and really learning your magic and using your magic in that light warrior way and that really powerful traditional way. And this is going to really help us with our quest to find the truth as well as we activate the shaman within us. And it's allowing us to do the shadow work in another powerful way where we're able to look at the shadow work that we've all been experiencing, looking at the parts of ourselves that are uncomfortable or are just, we're not so proud of, or we don't really like to face. But we're doing that shadow work in a shamanic way, which means that we're doing it with a sense of wisdom and a sense of spiritual connection that we've never had before, and a sense of enlightenment that is really helping us be graceful through our shadow work, where we're able to accept it, we're able to move through it, and we're able to really understand quite immediately how to manifest something different. So that's a really cool activation that we got from the Galactics yesterday for the Starseed Saturday meditation. If you're not one of the members of the Starseed social gathering group on Facebook, make sure to like my page, Readings by Rissa on Facebook, and request to join that group, because we definitely get together every Saturday, the day before we do these readings, and do a little cosmic meditation. And they have been so powerful, you guys. So you definitely don't want to miss that. So like I said, we're still doing the shadow work. We're really wanting to nurture our light. And I posted a video on Instagram yesterday about nurturing your light, 3 ways to nurture your light, because it's so important right now to be able to do that. And these shadow aspects of ourselves are also a little like sneaky. It's funny. They're kind of like will creep up on you. You don't notice that you're acting a certain way or saying things a certain way or doing something that's not really true to your true self until, it's maybe too late, or until it just kind of slaps you in the face, or it just kind of gets triggered. And so this is going to be also a very important part of nurturing our light, because when we nurture our light, we actually help ourselves become more aware of that shadow. And then the shadow can't be that sneaky with us. We can catch it before it kind of messes with us. Linda says, I'm in love. Carla, yeah, he's so much more chill now, right? Like he just needed to be in my arms. So there's that. This is my child, in case you didn't know. Okay, so the next one is ancestors. And we talked a bit about ancestors last week. Our ancestors are trying to guide us right now. All of our ancestors are trying to guide us right now. And they all have karma that they want us to help heal. They all have things that they want us to activate within us to help us bring forth change. And we always want to call on our healed ancestors, okay? The reason why I say that is because a lot of our ancestors have gone through quite some horrific things. And if they're not healed, they're going to be in vibrations that may not actually be serving us. Vibrations of rage, vibrations of revenge, vibrations of dominion or destruction if they're not healed. So we want to call forth our healed ancestors. And once we really ask our healed ancestors to show up, we want to feel into their energy. We want to make sure that their guidance feels true to us and aligned to us, but we also want to honor their wisdom. So that's an important part of it, because we want to listen to our ancestors that are healed and that are trying to help us to clear karma in our ancestral line, or, help us to create changes that are important for us to make. So definitely call on your ancestors and ask for the healed ones, and make sure you listen to them. Make sure you give yourself time to, pause in that meditation and wait for a response, or just feel into your body to notice what changes when you ask the question, or, just noticing what signs and synchronicities or dreams that you get after you ask that, and let that be a big part of, your connection to them, because we're waking up the roots of our soul power, and that comes through the ancestral line. All right, that being said, it's also another important topic. I heard the Arcturians communicate via the dogs. I've never heard that. That's so interesting, Linda. I have never heard that, but I will have to do some research, because that would be interesting if that was true, because I am very connected to the Arcturians and very connected to my pups. So that could be fun to play with. I don't know what he's looking at. What are you looking at over there? Like, you don't want to look at the people? Okay. He's not very good on camera. He's just trying to chill. Okay, so this next message, I love that he's here, because this is going to even create a nice little lightness to the next message. So the next message that I got from my guides about this week coming up, and this was actually a message that was synchronistically given to me through some research I was doing, and it's about the children of light versus the children of dark. And this is a very biblical type reference, but more so a spiritual war type reference. And I know I talked about this in a couple of readings ago, where I felt like we were in the spiritual war, right? And ever since I said that, it's funny, a lot of people have been posting about this in many different industries, many different places, many different perspectives. And so it's very clear that that energy is exactly that it is a spiritual war that we seem to be in. And the spiritual war, when we think about it, is really, it comes down to children of light and children of dark. And the children of light are, the children who are pure, that keep their energy. And I'm not talking actual children. Let me back up a little bit. I'm not talking about actual children here. I'm talking about us as children of source, right? So us as human beings, dogs, every other species, every living being on this planet is a child of source, right? It comes from source, the creator of all that is, right? And so there's children of light from source, and then there's children of dark from source. And the children of light are the ones that keep their vibration pure, and that really honor and nurture their purity and want to preserve it. They are the empathic ones. They're connected to their heart. They feel compassion and consideration for others. They nurture that light within them that is compassion and empathy. Their heart is connected. They know how to love. They know how to give love and receive love, and they're open to that heart consciousness and intuition. And they're focused on ascension. Children of light are focused on ascending upwards, raising their vibration, connecting to the heavens, connecting to the cosmos, activating, that higher consciousness. It's all about ascension, rising up. And then the children of light are also about creation, and they're about life, right? So this helps to understand the energy of, those who are created by source, who are following the path of light, right? And so, just from those few things, and there's so many other characteristics that can identify, a child of light. We're all children of light, I feel, just being in this reading and in this community, we're always focused on ascending and raising our vibration and loving more and living better and creating more positivity in the world and aligning with, empathy and heart-centered focus. And so we recognize that we are children of the light, right? But let's talk a little bit about children of the dark, or children of the darkness, because there is that reality. And what I think is so important for us to understand is that reality exists, because I know, as a child of the light and as someone who is a light worker and a luminary and always connected to that, it was hard for me to even acknowledge that there were people in the world that weren't following the path of light and had no interest to, and were actually very opposed to it. And there's also people in the world that follow the path of darkness that didn't really intend to, but just kind of found themselves there, just like people of the light do, right? So we find a compassion, we find an understanding, we find an awareness of our similarities, even in this kind of duality focus. But when we think about children of dark, we think about this kind of, instead of purity, there's a perverse energy. There's this kind of perversion. There's a lack of empathy with children of darkness. There's a lack of desire to be considerate or compassionate or to care about anyone else other than themselves. There's no heart connection. They've shut themselves off from their heart. They've chosen to not love. They've chosen to hate instead, or they've chosen to, criticize or judge instead of love and accept. And they're all in a more focus of dissension. They have no interest in ascending into a higher focus or into a higher awareness or a higher vibration. They're more focused on descending into the depths of their darkness, their shadow. How much darker could they get? This kind of encouragement or eagerness to continue to go darker and darker with things. And children of the dark are more connected to destruction than creation. They want to destroy things. They want to demolish things. They want to break things and kind of create this sense of destruction, really just destroying things. And then the children of the dark are not focused on life like the light children, but more so focused on death, more so focused on this energy of completion and, not living, soulless energy. So the reason why I bring that up is because we are going through a lunar eclipse this week, and we're going to get into astrology in just a second. But with that being said, since we just had a solar eclipse and a summer solstice, we are really recognizing that a lot of that children of light energy was really activated within us. And I do believe that we all have a child of light and a child of darkness within us, but that we all choose our path every day and over the course of our life. And based on the choices that we make, whether we align with the child of light within us or the child of dark within us primarily. That will determine the path we choose. So if you have been aligning with the child of light within you and making decisions in honor of that more often, then you're probably on that path of light. But if you haven't been doing that, and you've been really focused on listening to that child of darkness within you and following that path, then that's the path that you've probably chosen. So we all have the choice, and we can always change our mind. So it's important to also know that. But depending on how long we've made those decisions on the path that we're in, it may take that long for us to shift into the next path. And so, or it could be very easy. It just depends, So it's really important to recognize this duality because of the eclipses that we're in between, because we're about to have this lunar eclipse. So we're going to really see the moon enter the Earth's shadow, which means that we're going to notice that there's going to be more of those child of dark energies outside of us and within us, kind of just showing up in different ways. And so we just want to be aware of that. And we want to shine light where we can. And we also want to really find ways to transmute the energy within us that may be aligned in that shadow and really clean it up. We just need to clean up our vibration. We need to really choose now. We can't play this tiptoeing game between light and dark. We can't play with it. We have to choose. And whatever you choose is going to dictate a lot of the next 6 months experience and for the rest of our lives, probably, because of all the incredible change we're seeing in this spiritual war of dark versus light, good versus evil kind of energy. So I just wanted to bring that up. Claim what you are. If you know you're a child of life, claim that, child of light and life, claim that, pray more, connect with source more, keep ascending, keep connecting to your heart, keep valuing your empathic nature and your pure vibration, keep focusing on life and love. Don't let yourself start focusing on dark stuff just to explore it if it's not going to serve you. Now, I will say that because we're in a spiritual war, it's very important to know how the children of light, of dark operate if you're children of light, so that you can protect yourself and you can prevent anything from, for you being naive to something. So really important to know the other side enough to know how to navigate it, protect yourself, and stay clear of it. And also transmute it eventually, because that's what we're doing. And the light will win. We talked about that last week. We are light. We are light for a reason, because light is the transmuting force. As soon as light enters in just a little pin drop into a dark room, the dark room can't go back to being dark. It's been illuminated, right? So really honoring that as well. All right, I'm seeing a lot of the child of light. Love it. Yes, claim it, claim it, claim it. And it's so good to feel that, for sure. Make the pledge of sovereignty. I love that, Hedwig. Yeah, definitely. Make your pledge with your heart that you are aligned with the light, and call on your forces of light that are unseen around you, your angels, your healed ancestors, your cosmic guides of love and light, because they will show up if you're feeling like, vulnerable to any of the darkness as well. So nurture your light, nurture your light, nurture your light. All right, let's get into astrology. This is going to be our full moon in Capricorn reading, along with some astrology highlights. Let's go into the astrology highlights first. The first highlight is on Tuesday, the 30th of June, and that is going to be a very creative and exhilarating day. We're going to see that Jupiter conjuncts Pluto on that day, which is going to bring us wealth and wisdom in a very expansive way. And so we're going to have a lot of opportunity for abundance and a lot of opportunity for new awareness and perspectives, really honoring kind of this new understanding of things since the summer solstice as well. And then Mercury retrograde sextiles Uranus on Tuesday as well. And that's where the lower mind of Mercury meets the higher mind of Uranus. And so we're going to feel this heightened awareness of the shadow, but also of the challenges in our life. And we're going to be able to use our heightened awareness, our higher mind, our intelligence, our emotional intelligence, our intellectual intelligence, and our spiritual intelligence to navigate through any challenges that Mercury retrograde brings. So that's going to be really great on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, the 1st of July, we're going to be entering the brand new month. And the card that I pulled for July was Past Life, Present Power, which I think is so cool because, we're moving from love, of June into past life, present power. So when we activate the vibration of love within us, we start to activate past life, present powers. We start to activate the energy, the soul power, the magic of past lives. And we start to bring that into the present, which is really fun. So we're going to do that on July 1st. And we're also going to feel this step-by-step progress into activating that past life power. The sun sextiles Uranus that day, so another Uranus influence with that higher mind, and the sun really illuminating that with the Christ consciousness. And this is going to help us set ourselves free from anything that's been holding us down or tethering us to things that have felt limiting. And then Mercury retrograde is going to be squaring Chiron on this day as well. And this is going to be a very healing energy. So any challenges that you're feeling from Mercury retrograde on Wednesday, you're going to notice this ability to heal and express healing through that experience. So this is going to be a really great day to talk about the healing that you need, talk about the healing you're experiencing, journal about it, and just find new creative ways to express healing, because that energy will really be liberating for you on Wednesday. And then also Saturn retrogrades in Capricorn that day as well, which means that Saturn goes home, because Saturn and Capricorn are connected in that way. Capricorn rules Saturn. And so Saturn's going to go home on July 1st until December. And then in December, it's going to move into Aquarius, and then it's going to be in Aquarius for like 27 years. So this is going to be a really important little shift for Saturn to make on the 1st of July. And so from the 1st of July to December, which technically represents almost exactly the last half of the year, we're going to be feeling this structure from Saturn, this responsibility from Saturn that meets the structure of Capricorn and the systems of Capricorn. So we're going to start to see more that we're going to be more comfortable with our responsibilities. We're more comfortable with structure. We're more comfortable with being mature and doing what we have to do for the next 6 months. So this is a really great time to get stuff done, really get stuff done, because I will give you a little spoiler alert. You know, the December card for 2020 is stagnation. So that means, just in front of what I'm seeing, that from the July 1st, you know, the 1st of July to December, we have a lot of opportunity to make stuff happen. And then December might be a very stagnant month. So we want to take advantage of the next 6 months to get stuff done and to be graceful through any anxiety that you might have in trying to get stuff done, because that can also pop up. I'm going to put Geo down for now. Are you going to stay here? Okay, you can sit there. I don't want to hold you, but if you can stay there, that's good. So yeah, so we really want to step into that awareness so that we can get the stuff we need to get done. Now, I also want to mention a card that I pulled before I started this reading, because something told me to pull a card, so I did. It's from the Rumi deck, and it's the Impossible Made Possible card. I know you guys can't really see that, but the Impossible Made Possible. And this card, I just want to share, because they were telling me to pull this card as addition to whatever else I bring forth in the reading. And I read the message of the card, and I'm going to mention it again. I think I just pulled it out, actually. Let's see if I can find it. So the card itself is the number 9 card, which represents this energy of wisdom and endings and stuff like that, completion. And I just want to read you the quote from Rumi that represents this card. It says, "Love brings the sea into boiling and turns the mountains into a pebble. Love creates infinite openings in the dark sky and shudders the earth with its magnitude." And so that is just showing you the power of love, the love that love can bring the sea to boil, and it can turn mountain into pebble, you know, and it creates infinite openings in the dark sky, meaning that love opens up the darkness. It clears the darkness, and it shudders the earth. It shakes the earth with its magnitude. And so when we feel into that, you know, I think it's such a great kind of summary of this energy of June, you know, this energy of the power of love really resonating and now moving into a past life power surfacing from that in July. So with that being said, those are the highlights. Let's go ahead and finish out with the full moon highlight. This is a full moon in Capricorn. It's also a lunar eclipse. I've already talked a little bit about that. You know, the moon entering the Earth's shadow. You know, the moon is the intuitive aspect of ourselves. It is the emotional aspect of ourselves. It's the feminine, mysterious aspect of ourselves. And that moon energy entering the shadow of the earth means that any of the earth's shadow, any of these things that have been really shadowy and dark that we're seeing in the world, you know, government lying to us, you know, the pandemic, the quarantine, the racial tensions and oppression and the violence from police and all of these other things that are just coming to light. You know, I've been seeing a lot of darkness in Hollywood coming to light, a lot of the pedophile rings coming to light, right? And all of these things. When we focus on this awareness of the moon entering the Earth's shadow, and we know that the Earth's shadow is represented by all these things that are surfacing that are really dark in our world, we notice that the moon is going to bring this intuitive aspect to that a lot of us are going to notice. And even those who, you know, haven't really been in touch with their intuition might start to intuitively pick up on the shadows around them and on the shadows that are surfacing in the world. You know, people that might have been really clueless to what's going on in Hollywood or in the government or in other areas are going to get really tapped into their intuition, and they're going to realize that there's a lot of shadows happening. And that means that we're going to keep having a lot of people wake up, which is really just a representation of us entering that golden age and really moving into this ascension and awareness, and in this revolutionary time to have the light side of everything win the war, right? And so it's going to bring us a lot of heightened consciousness. And this is going to be such a great energy because for the 4th of July, you know, especially in the States, the West Coast is going to have this on the 4th of July, most of the US actually. And then the rest of the world will be July 5th. Do you want to get down? Here, I'm going to help you. Okay. So the US is going to have it on the 4th of July, the full moon, and the rest of the world is going to be July 5th for the full moon. And this is going to bring us freedom as well as that intuition within us and that feminine energy and even that emotional response, that empathy. People are going to be able to feel truth. They're going to be able to feel deception. And so that is going to allow us to become free, to let our mind become free. The way we've been conditioned, the way we've been systematically programmed, we're going to start to liberate ourselves through our intuition as this full moon happens, as this lunar eclipse happens on the 4th of July. And that freedom energy is so perfect because, you know, 4th of July in the US is Independence Day, that freedom. And so we're going to also have heightened awareness on the full moon. And we're going to have healing through nurturing our light, which we already talked about. We're also going to be bringing structure to the emotional intelligence that we talked about last week, because the full moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn's all about structure. It's all about focus. It's all about creating organization and plans and grounding those in. And so that is going to pair so nicely with the new moon Cancer energy that we're still in, that was really helping us increase our emotional intelligence. So we're going to use that emotional intelligence, that empathy, to create structure and organization in the things that we're wanting to create. And Jupiter conjuncts Pluto in the full moon Capricorn, which is going to bring us positive empowerment as well, expansion, and it's also going to bring us wisdom. We talked a little bit about this earlier, that abundance and that wealth. But it's also going to give us this sense of inner authority where we're really going to be able to know how to make decisions for our expansion and our pleasure and our abundance, and also be able to really commit to it with that Capricorn energy. And we can expect some miracles with this energy of the full moon in Capricorn and the lunar eclipse. Miracles in healing, enlightenment, in love, and in soul power. So super exciting to tap into that. And Mars conjuncts Chiron on the full moon as well with this energy. So that's going to give us some healing awareness. We may notice some challenges in our healing around the 4th of July, but those challenges are actually going to help us spring into action. And that's going to be really nice to help us continue moving forward and continue getting things done for the rest of the year. And then finally, we talked a little bit about this as well, the Sun conjuncts Mercury retrograde for the influence of this full moon. And that's going to help us express action and enlightenment in our life and navigate it very smoothly as well. So we've got a lot to be excited for this week. We've got a lot of energy to tap into. We've got structure, we've got emotional intelligence, we've got alignment to our light, we've got this awareness with our intuition that is showing us how to navigate through shadow. We also have this amazing Christ consciousness that's waking up within us and a light that is so powerful. And we also have this beautiful, mysterious, spiritual, heightened sensitivity that's going to be aiding us as well this week. So much to look forward to, so much to tap into. How are all of you feeling? Let's pull some cards as well to summarize this all. And if you haven't joined my email list, meaning if you haven't actually signed up for a reading with me before, if you've never had a reading with me before, or if you've never signed up for an event with me, or if you just haven't gotten any of my emails, I do send them out, not super regularly, but I'm going to be sending them out more regularly. So if you want to join my email list, I'm also going to put in a little link in the description for you to join my email list so you have that as well, because I am going to be putting out some offers for all of you, some free offers, some paid offers, just to keep the vibrations going, you know, because we really need this community now more than ever. Yes, I'm looking forward to this week too, Hedwig. Yeah, Hedwig, the Cabal. Yeah, Children of the Dark. Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. Yep. I'm gonna do a video. I'm currently doing a lot of my research. I think I mentioned this to a lot of you, at least on Instagram, that I'm doing a lot of my research. My guides have been sending me into multiple rabbit holes, getting me really in tune and aware of the energy that we're facing right now, so that I can bring the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, as well as the intuitive knowledge to all of you correctly and accurately, because there's a lot of opinions out there and a lot of perspectives out there. And my biggest thing is really tapping into the most true, which it's always going to be different for you and me, where our truth is going to be slightly different because it comes through a different filter. But essentially it's the energy of, intuition and spirit. And I want to make sure that when I talk about things like the Cabal and, the Satanist stuff that's happening, very undercover in Hollywood and politics and all sorts of other places, and has been happening for centuries, and the Cabal, when I start to talk about those things, I want to really talk about it from a place of pure intuition and spirit, as well as very strong knowledge, factual knowledge, research knowledge, not opinion. So once I have all of that, then I will, I'll be talking more about it. But yes, if you guys go to my Instagram, I'm posting a lot of stuff on my stories that's starting to help you all see what to pay attention to and what to do some research on. Because when you do your own research, you're going to get your awareness too of the truth. You're gonna understand what's going on pretty clearly. All right, I'm going to pull one more card for the moon, and we'll see what it is. I'm not getting told to pull any crystals out for you all right now. Oh, I am, yeah. Malachite. Oh, I'm like, where's the camera? Malachite is the abundance stone. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? So this stone is really great for abundance and expansion of your abundance. So if you're interested in expanding that abundance vibration even more that we talked about, get you some malachite. That'll be a really great stone to have. Also, citrine is a good substitute. All right, I'm just pulling the moon card, and we'll see what we have. All right, first card is for the beginning of the week, equilibrium. Equilibrium. And yeah, this is so weird. I don't know why I can't show it to the camera. I must be on my laptop. So yeah, so this is equilibrium. And this card is all about balance. This is all about balance in our own awareness of our duality. We talked about, the child of light and the child of darkness within us, and also the balance of understanding how to nurture our light, especially if we start to notice darkness outside of ourselves, how to maintain balance. Don't let yourself get consumed by fear, by, negative, things that you're learning about. Don't get yourself consumed by those rabbit holes. I know for me, like doing the research, I have to really balance my light and make sure I'm not getting too emotionally upset by everything that I'm learning about what's going on in the world on a deeper level. And so this is also going to be true for all of you, really maintaining an equilibrium of your light. And then the middle of the week card, it's so perfect. It's the Pillar of Light card, which I think is just so great. And it says literally a beautiful poem, by the way. It says Pillar of Light. And then it says, Pillar of Light burning bright, earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis descend, your blessing and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine protection and perfection. And I think that's so beautiful because we really have this connection to the earth star below and the soul star above, and that balance there as well, that equilibrium. But as we ground into the earth and as we extend up to the sunlight and the soul star above, and we ask that energy, that light within us, to burn away what is not light, we really are doing the transmutation work. We're doing the alchemy. So do the alchemy for yourself and wherever you feel you need that light in your life, especially in the middle of the week. And then last card of the end of the week is the meditation card. So great to really meditate and nurture your light at the end of the week. That's another way to keep in balance. If you ever start to feel overly scared or upset or frustrated or angry or anxiety prone, just start meditating. Get into a quick meditation practice. Take a couple deep breaths. Center into your focus. Feel into your heart. Remind yourself of what feels good and what's positive around you and what you're grateful for. And let that meditation bring you back into balance. All right, our moon card has been revealed, and it is the self-sabotage card. This means get out of your own way. Get out of your way. Because when you learn to get out of your way, there will be no stopping you. That was a nice little segue into the message, right? Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. So definitely watch out for self-sabotage with the full moon, because as we are approaching that lunar eclipse and as the moon goes into the Earth's shadow, we also recognize that the moon is a shadowy energy itself, okay? It comes out at night, right? And so, the fact that we're already dealing with a lot of shadowy stuff with Earth and the Earth's shadow and the moon itself being shadowy and moving into the Earth's shadow, that means there's going to be a lot of shadow, y'all. Okay, but I don't want you to freak out, but just pay attention to the self-sabotage. Don't let yourself get in your own way. Don't freak out, because if you freak out, then you're not going to be able to hear your intuition and you're not going to be able to navigate through the darkness, and you're probably going to get all confused and feel super out of balance. So meditate if you ever start to feel that happen too, and just get out of your own way and really align with your true goals. Okay. I love you all so much. I hope this reading was so great for you. I hope you got a lot out of it. Please make sure to rewatch it throughout the week if you need an extra reminder. Also send it to your friends, your family, your coworkers, your soul tribe, whoever you feel like needs these messages. And then also reach out to me if you want a $65 6-month forecast card pull. I am doing those now. I'll open up the booking for that now. So just reach out to me. I'll create the link on my calendar as well, and just have you all reach out. And the slots will probably fill up quickly, you guys. So get on it if you can, because I do have some time off in the beginning of July, which also brings me to the fact that I will be in Indiana next weekly reading. So you'll be able to see my little brother Jaden, maybe my little brother Tommy, and that'll be really fun. So I'll be out there visiting family, and I can't wait. So I love you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. Make sure to nurture your light. Make sure to watch that video I posted on Instagram about it. I'm also going to try to get you all the Kali channel that I did a couple of weeks ago, so you all can hear that as well on my YouTube channel. So be on the lookout for that. And I love you so much. I will talk to you soon.